Hey guys, so this is another Pyrrole video I filmed. Can't remember when I filmed my last one actually, but it was intro into Pyroluria, I think. So I thought might as well do my story with Pyrrole, and sort of how I've learned to treat it, how I've learned to cope with it, and basically where it all began. Let's see. So it all began when I was probably around, I think I had just turned 9. Maybe not. I was 9 turning 10, 9 to 10 years old. I was very angry. I was an angry little child. I was such a hothead and all the time. And, my parents really couldn't pinpoint it, but my dad was experiencing the same symptoms I was. I was just very stressed and had a lot of nervous, anxious energy, and those were some symptoms that my dad had expressed his entire life. And I remember my mom and him trying to get to the bottom of it and wondering, what was wrong. And they found out that he had something called Pyroluria. And so he got tested. It came back positive. Forget if he had a blood test, I remember. And they were wondering if I had it because it's genetic. So the doctor informed my mom of that, and she was like, okay, this is probably what Madeline has. And I got tested and it was positive. So I knew I had Pyrrole from the age of 9, right? Didn't start taking my supplements until, religiously, taking my supplements until last year. And I was 15 last year. So I was in denial for probably about six or 7 years, just not wanting to face the fact that I had it, because it felt just like such a death sentence, which is ironic now because it's more of a life sentence, because I'm, so passionate about talking about it and informing people of it, because not many people know about it, which is ridiculous. If you didn't watch the intro into Pyroluria video, to sum it up, for people who don't know what it is, which is completely understandable, so a normal person, you're born with a certain amount of these little enzymes called cryptopyrroles. And some people, like me, it's said to be like 5% of the population has an excess amount. So I have an excess amount. Luckily for you, I brought drawings. So covering this part, I've just realized I'm never even looking at the camera. Oh well, anyways. So this is a normal amount. I know these are drawn like chromosomes. I know I have an extra amount of chromosome. I don't know if I have an extra amount of chromosomes. Anyways, so here's me. So this is like cryptopyrrole, right? I have double, triple the amount of the average person, which if you are not aware, is a problem. It's a problem because these cryptopyrroles bind with vitamin B6 and zinc. Vitamin B6 and zinc synthesize to create our happy hormones: serotonin, dopamine, melatonin. Dopamine is like joy, excitement, stuff like that. Melatonin just kind of mellows you out. Melatonin. That was bad. Anyways, kind of just calms you down, helps you sleep, and serotonin is your happy hormone. So to put it simply, I cannot produce those. Physically, chemically, metabolically, cannot produce those on my own without taking a supplement. And that alone just depressed me even more. It's like I was already depressed. And that fact alone just depressed me even more. I felt very trapped in my genetics. And all I can say is if I knew then what I know now, I would not have felt that way at all. So I grew up a little bit, I matured a little bit, a lot, and I realized this is not something I can ignore. This is a problem that I will have to I can never get my hair right. Jesus. I matured a lot, to say the least, and I realized that this is not something I can push under the rug anymore. This is not something I can just throw to, what am I even trying to say? This is not something I can suppress. It's something that I need to take care of, and I need to take care of it now. And I decided probably freshman year, maybe, I'm a junior now, that I was going to take my supplements, and I was going to take them religiously. And spoiler alert, if I can actually talk, that didn't happen until I was probably halfway through my sophomore year. When I actually had a breakdown or a breakthrough. It was more like a breakthrough, and I actually cracked down and religiously took my supplements. So in that time period, I think after I realized, I need to take this seriously, I can't really ignore the fact that I have it, I went to a couple science fairs. So I did a lot of research on Pyroluria, and I remember I just loved it so much, and this is how I figured out that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, is research mental health and genes and genetics and all of that. I really got interested in neurology and stuff and biomedical science. So did a couple science fairs on it. Still wasn't really taking my supplements religiously, even though I had come to the realization that I should probably take care of myself more. And around February of my sophomore year, I dyed my hair black. You can imagine. And things really went uphill from there. I know people were like, oh my god, you must have been going through something. You dyed your hair black. Jesus. But after that, I started taking my supplements religiously. What was I going to say before that? Oh, before that, I had to gain 20 pounds my freshman year. Just because of stress and a lot of things were coming to a head then. I look like I'm crying, but I just wiped some of my makeup off on my nose. And I was like, oh my god, I felt so terrible freshman year. I can't even explain it. It was just, I felt so heavy, obviously, because I had enough extra 20 pounds on me. My acne was really bad. I just felt very lethargic, and like I said, it wasn't until February when I dyed my hair black. I don't know why, and I still want to dye it black again because it reminds me of that time where just everything changed. I started taking care of my body. I started listening to myself and my needs and wants and what my body actually needed at the time. And I started taking my supplements religiously. And sorry, I keep touching my hair. It's so weird. I cut it. Now I look like Lord Farquaad. I can already feel the comments. Just shut up. Stupid looking. Anyways, and I remember just how good it felt to just be in control. I was in control. I lost the 20 pounds very quickly, actually. Not rapidly, but within 2 months, it was gone. And I liked the fact that I did online school because I would not have wanted anyone to see me in that state. Trust me, it was terrible. So I quickly lost it, kept it off, thank God, and still working on health and stuff. Definitely not perfect, but I remember just taking my supplements and just feeling so much more optimistic, and so motivated. I have never ever had I've always been driven, but I've never been that driven in my entire life, ever. So I kept taking them. I still take them religiously, and I think they're phenomenal. I swear by them. Because to be honest with you guys, I would not be here without my supplements. Not even kidding. I would not be here. Because that's how much they have helped me, and that's how far I was headed down. If you know what I mean. It was a very slippery slope to continue, if I continued to ignore my health like that. Another thing I wanted to mention, Pyrrole is different for women versus men. So for me, I was more, because here's what happens. So men, as they get older, they externalize their anger. Women, as they get older, they internalize their anger. So that's why women are more prone to like self-harm and eating disorders, and men are more prone to, I guess, be violent to other people when they're going through stuff. Like, all the men with Pyrrole that I know have, like, punched a wall at some point. I swear to God. Like, or they're, like, really road ragey, or they're just simply, like, a hothead. You know, I was definitely a hothead for probably ages 9 to 12, and then, like, I hit puberty, and I just got really sad after that. I remember just not even being angry anymore. It was just sad, and for no reason. It was very perplexing to just be sad. It's like you're melancholy over you miss something that, like, hasn't happened yet, is what I would describe the feeling. It feels very heavy, having Pyroluria. Just from a day-to-day basis, it feels very slow. It's a very stagnant energy, and I knew it wasn't me. I knew it wasn't the Madeline I had known before age 9. It all changed when, you know, the Pyrrole hit, and I hit a growth spurt, like I was saying, and so my body needed a lot more minerals, and I'm already mineral deficient, so that's when it hit, is when I went through that growth spurt, and then, you know, I obviously stopped growing quickly after, not long after that, and yeah. The men with Pyrrole are not necessarily going to be, like, abusive men. I think that abuse in general, abusive men, have an abuse problem. They don't necessarily have, like, anger issues, because I've met a lot of guys with Pyrrole who obviously do have anger issues because they have Pyrrole, but they don't abuse people. They don't, it's more like, that wall's looking at me wrong, I'm gonna, like, give it a piece of my mind, you know, they're gonna take it out on, like I just said, a wall, or they're gonna be really road ragey, or, like, typically very athletic. I found, like, they're in, like, really contact sports, because they need something, some kind of outlet to get their aggression out, and the women are more just sad, I guess, for lack of a better term, and tired, I would say, and the men are more wired up and, like, I want to fight somebody now, and it's just different. But I will say I've seen a lot of men who have started taking the supplements, and they're, like, the most gentle people I know. So I can say firsthand that it's purely chemical. I wouldn't say I'm a depressed person right now, genuinely. Like, at a core level, I would not say at all that I'm depressed. But when Pyrrole sets in and I don't take care of my health, and I'm not taking my supplements, and I'm not eating right and doing all those things, I do feel like a depressed person. So it kind of just warps, I think, your perception of yourself and really what's going on. So I just wanted to tell you guys that if you resonate with this, let me know. Email me, DM me, comment, something, because I would love to hear from people who have Pyrrole, men or women. And I'll see you in the next one.